They appeared out of nowhere. Two children, trembling in fear, dressed in strange clothes, and their skin was green. They spoke no known language. They wouldn't eat food, and when they finally did, they said they came from a place with no sun, a world underground. What happened in that quiet English village over 800 years ago? And were they even human? This is the true story of the Green Children of Woolpit. In the quiet village of Woolpit, nestled deep in the English countryside of Suffolk, lies one of the most haunting and baffling mysteries in medieval history. It's a story so strange, so out of place, it reads like folklore. But what if it wasn't? What if two children with green skin really did appear one day in the 12th century, frightened, confused, and claiming to be from a place that doesn't exist on any map? This is the chilling true story of the Green Children of Woolpit. It was sometime between the years 1150 and 1160, during the reign of King Stephen or possibly Henry II, depending on the record you believe. England was in turmoil. Civil wars had left the land scarred, and superstition thrived in the countryside. In the village of Woolpit, named for the wolf pits dug to protect sheep from predators, farmers were out harvesting their fields. The village was typical for its time, small, rural, and devoutly religious. But what happened that day was anything but ordinary. As the villagers worked, they discovered two young children, a boy and a girl, standing near one of the wolf pits. They were holding each other, crying, confused. But it wasn't just their sudden appearance that startled the villagers. It was their skin. It was green, not pale or sickly, but unmistakably green, like young leaves in spring. Their clothes were equally strange, made from unfamiliar materials in styles no one had ever seen. They spoke no known language and refused every kind of food offered to them. The only thing they would eat were raw beans, still in their pods. For days, they survived on nothing else. The villagers were stunned. Who were these children? Where did they come from? And how did they end up near a wolf pit in Suffolk? The children were taken in by Sir Richard de Calme, a local landowner who housed and cared for them. But tragedy struck quickly. The boy became ill. Some say it was the shock of the new world. Others believe it was malnutrition or a sickness from the journey. Whatever the cause, he died shortly after they were found. The girl, however, survived. Over time, her green hue faded. She began to learn English. She ate normal food. And most chillingly of all, she started to speak. When she was finally able to communicate, the story she told was nothing short of otherworldly. She said they came from a place called St. Martin's Land, a place always cloaked in twilight. The sun never rose high there. Instead, it hovered in a perpetual dusk. The people in St. Martin's Land were all green, just like they had been. According to the girl, she and her brother were tending their father's flocks when they heard the sound of church bells. Curious, they followed the sound and entered a large cavern. They walked in the darkness for what felt like hours. When they finally emerged, the light was overwhelming. They were in Woolpit, but the way back was gone. She claimed they had not meant to come here. They were lost, separated from their world by a tunnel they could no longer find. Understandably, the villagers didn't know what to make of this. Was this a child's fantasy, a metaphor for something deeper, or a genuine account of a civilization that existed beneath their feet? Theories and explanations. The tale of the Green Children spread, first orally, then through chroniclers like Ralph of Coggeshall and William of Newburgh, both of whom documented the incident decades later. While the accounts vary slightly in details, they agree on the core facts: the children's green skin, their strange language, their aversion to food, and the girl's claim of an underground homeland. Over the centuries, many have tried to explain the mystery: malnutrition and disease. One of the most popular rational explanations involves a condition known as hypochromic anemia, also called chlorosis. This iron deficiency can cause a greenish tint to the skin. Combined with malnourishment and poor living conditions, it might explain their appearance. Supporters of this theory believe the children were orphans from Flemish immigrants who had recently settled in eastern England. Many of these communities were displaced or killed during local conflicts. Perhaps the children had fled into the woods and become lost, speaking only Flemish, which sounded foreign to the villagers. Underground civilization. Others interpret the story more literally. What if there really was a hidden world beneath the surface? Medieval folklore is rich with tales of hollow earth theories, vast subterranean lands populated by strange peoples. The girl's description of a twilight world accessible only by a tunnel and accompanied by the sound of bells suggests a civilization living in isolation underground. Could such a society have existed, hidden away for centuries? Extraterrestrial origins. And then there's the fringe theory, but one that keeps resurfacing. Some believe the children were not from Earth at all. Alien theorists point to several strange details: the green skin, the unknown language, the bizarre clothing, and the disorientation. Could they have been extraterrestrial beings, accidentally transported to medieval England? Or perhaps survivors of a crashed ship trying to blend in? The most curious clue: the girl never once retracted her story. Aftermath and legacy. The girl eventually assimilated fully into English life. She was baptized and took the name Agnes. Records suggest she later married a man from King's Lynn and lived out a normal life. Some researchers have traced her lineage and believe her descendants may still live in the area today. Yet she never changed her story. Even into adulthood, even when she no longer had to talk about it, she always insisted she and her brother came from St. Martin's Land. Modern-day Woolpit has embraced the legend. You can still visit the site of the old wolf pits. Local signs feature green-skinned children, and the town hosts events themed around the legend. But the central mystery remains unsolved. Were they refugees from a lost village? Victims of a war? Survivors of a natural disaster? Or something far stranger? Stories like these remind us that history isn't just made up of kings and wars. It's filled with moments where reality bends, just a little, where logic fails, and only mystery remains. The Green Children of Woolpit remain one of England's oldest unsolved mysteries. Whether they came from a foreign land, the depths of the earth, or another world entirely, they left behind a story that has endured for nearly 900 years. And maybe that's the real message, that sometimes the world is far stranger than we imagine. What do you believe? Were the Green Children lost wanderers? Or visitors from another realm? Tell us in the comments. And for more mysterious, true, and forgotten stories, subscribe to ThinkTrail and join us on the journey into the unknown.